In this instructional video, students will classify two-dimensional figures, and they will use information in that figure like parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and the type of angle in order to classify those shapes. A two-dimensional shape is a flat shape that is closed with straight lines. Let's look at some different shapes to see if they would be considered two-dimensional shapes. If we look at this hexagon, we can see that it is flat. It's closed, meaning there's no spaces or gaps in between the lines, and the lines are also straight, so a hexagon would be considered a two-dimensional shape. This circle is flat. All of it, the lines are closed, but the lines are not straight, so it would not be considered a two-dimensional shape. This figure right here is flat. However, it is not closed, and the lines are straight. But because the lines are not closed, this would not be considered a two-dimensional shape. When we classify shapes, we look at the characteristics of the shape and compare them to characteristics of other shapes. Let's use a square as an example. If we're looking at this square, we see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And if we're looking to classify by shapes that have 4 sides, a square would be included as well as a rectangle, a parallelogram, and a trapezoid. We can also classify based on angles. We can see that this square has 1 set, 2 set, 3 sets, 4 sets of perpendicular lines, which are 2 lines that come together to create right angles. If we are classifying based on 4 right angles, we know that a square has 4 right angles as well as a rectangle. Along with sides, you can also classify shapes based on angles. Let's look at triangles to classify different types of angles. The first triangle we want to be familiar with is a right angle triangle, or just a right triangle. Both of these triangles are right triangles. Regardless of the direction of the shape, we can see that there are right angles in each of these triangles. We can also classify based on acute angles. Both of these triangles have all acute angles, so these triangles would be considered acute triangles. And we can also classify based on obtuse angles. Both of these triangles have one obtuse angle, so because they have one obtuse angle, they would be classified as obtuse triangles.